Welcome to the Teacher Fellowship Program's information session. My name is Paula Santos, and we have some details and some dates and some really fun perks that I'm going to share with you for this year's Teacher Fellowship Program. Here we have our beautiful building. It's right off Milwaukee Avenue. And if you haven't visited us before, we are a museum that specializes in self-taught and outsider art. Our mission is to celebrate the power of outsider art. We are one of the few places in the world where this artwork is displayed and researched and talked about and exhibited. And throughout the years, we have found that this artwork really connects with students, whether they're young, whether they're elementary school, or much older, they're your teenagers, your college students. So for the Teacher Fellowship Program, it's just a really wonderful opportunity to be able to share this artwork with your students. So I'm going to go into the details of being a teacher fellow. So this is a year-long fellowship for Chicago Public School teachers. This means that starting in October, you start coming to Intuit, and that's also depending on the pandemic, of course. We're very mindful of that. So PDs start in October and they go into the early part of 2022. This is an opportunity for you to partner with another teacher at your school. If you're an art teacher, partner with an English teacher, partner with a science teacher. We love to have interdisciplinary pairings in our cohorts. As I mentioned, we'll have a mix of on-site and online professional development sessions. Last year, we were able to do this program pretty successfully with online professional development sessions. So, we're fully equipped to change to online if that's what the situation requires. As a part of this cohort, you will receive 25 CPDUs, which is due to your attendance on those PD sessions. And each teacher in your teacher pair will receive $500 for lesson supplies. That can be art supplies, books, things that you need to teach outsider art to your students. The really wonderful part of this fellowship, which we were not able to do last year, but we fully intend to do this upcoming year, is the Student Teacher Art Show. And what that means is that your students that are participating in this program, that are learning from you, that are learning about outsider art, the artwork that you produce together will be displayed at our museum. And every single year of the fellowship program, this is the absolute highlight for your children, your students, for other teachers, for school administrators, of course, and also for everyone who comes and visits the museum and sees just the amazing talent that students have and the inspiration they take from self-taught and outsider art. The application deadline is September 13th, and you can find it on our website at art.org. Just be mindful of that date that's coming up. So to give you a little bit of insight into the professional development sessions, you will learn about self-taught and outsider artists. Perhaps you're someone who is just finding out that this is a genre of art. Perhaps you have always loved this type of art and are really wondering, well, how do I bring this to my students? That's a huge component of our professional development sessions. We will work with you on that. We will also have field trips to other cultural institutions across Chicago. Hopefully things remain open throughout this year, so we will be able to do that. We have also done art workshops especially geared for your development as art teachers, or maybe you're the English teacher and you're creating artwork inspired by outsider artists. And when we're together, we'll have all our supplies, you'll be seeing what other people are making, and, take inspiration from this larger community of educators. Also, during our PD sessions, we will have time for lesson planning. I know that prep time, lesson planning time is really hard to come by during your work week. So when you're with us, we hope that that time, at least alleviates a little bit of that issue that you may be facing in your regular work week. While we're together, we are a community of very creative people. Intuit staff and also your fellow educators will be there to provide feedback. We'll present on our lessons. We'll show exemplars of the types of art activities we'd like our students to do. And Intuit has been doing this program for a couple of decades, so we have a pretty good idea of what can really work in the classroom. And here you have the dates. You'll start in October, and there are Saturdays from 10 to 3 p.m., our first date being October 9th. So self-taught and outsider art. Here I have a couple of photographs. One is of the artist Wesley Willis. It's a drawing made with pen, ballpoint pen, and felt tip pen. And then on the right, I have an image of a school field trip that came to Intuit and saw this drawing in person. And as you can see, there's a lot of hands in the air, just ready to talk about this work and connect with what the artist was sharing with us. This program has had the component of a visit, like a visit from your students to the museum. Given the circumstances of the pandemic, I think it is really up to what is happening in the school year for that to return. We are definitely open to it at Intuit, that you will return with your students. And the stipend for the program would allow you to get a school bus to bring your students. But having your students look at this artwork and connect with it is really our #1 priority at the museum. So the main thing that you will be working on throughout your year with us is creating an interdisciplinary lesson with your school partner. You will collaborate on this lesson that will feature outsider art, take inspiration from some of the materials, from some of the ideas, some of the life stories of our artists. Then students will create works of art, works of writing. Students have created whole projects with the inspiration of outsider artists, given the lessons that teachers create while they're in the program. Intuit staff and the community of educators, as I mentioned, provide feedback and support, and there is a formal process for making those lessons as good as possible. And you'll have different set of eyes that can provide that feedback to really think through your ideas. And as I mentioned, I know that time is something that is hard to come by as you're planning your unit. So hopefully when we're together, we're able to provide that for you. We ask that the lessons be executed in the spring of 2022. That's usually around the time when our professional development sessions will be done. And that's around the time right before the student teacher art show. Intuit staff, which is myself, would come to your classroom. We would see what your students are up to, look at some of the art that they've created, and get a sense of how their learning is, ignited by the artwork that they've been introduced to by you. And on our website on art.org, there are students, or rather teacher-created lessons. We have a whole resource kit that educators such as yourself came up with. We have curriculum that other teachers have come up with. So these resources are something that you are creating as you are in our program. And here we have some really wonderful photographs of the last student teacher art show we were able to have, which was in 2019. This is a really wonderful celebration of all the work that you'd be doing through the fellowship program, where families, your students, your colleagues can come and see all the wonderful work that your students have been doing throughout the spring. Everything about this exhibition makes Intuit so proud to be able to be a space where this type of creativity is really fostered, where we can have a moment to be together, to reflect on works of art and really express our creativity. And here we have galleries full of people, galleries full of art. We have teachers that are very proud of their students. So I really invite you to apply, to consider applying. And if you have any questions about the program, please don't hesitate to email me at paula@art.org. Please apply.